and I can't shut up about the things I'm excited about. So I might as well get paid for not shutting up about the things I'm excited about. And that's called teaching.
All right, I got one more question for you.
Go on, I dare you.
All right. In Hamlet, Hamlet says that the purpose of playing is to, let me get this right, hold as it were. Don't get it wrong. Hamlet says the purpose of playing is to hold as it were a mirror up to nature. What does Rob Pensalfini see when he looks into that mirror?
Oh my God. Well, first of all, Hamlet's an idiot. No, I like to piss people off by saying that, but I do have issues with Hamlet. I especially like how in that scene, he, a Prince of Denmark, student of philosophy, not an actor, decides that he can tell the professional actors what their job is and how to do it. And that's just Hamlet through and through. I would not invite Hamlet over to dinner. He is also terrible at following his own advice.
It's very true.
Nothing is good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. And then what does he do?
Thinks a lot.
Or yeah. Or what's the other one he says? Oh yeah, he gives this great advice and then doesn't follow it. But how human is that, right?
Very
I'm sure
human.
I do it all the time. I probably dislike Hamlet because I recognize. Okay, hold the mirror up to nature. Interesting. Right? Are you asking me what do I think people see, or what do I personally see when I hold the mirror up to nature?
What does Rob Pensalfini see?
Damn you. Okay. Well, it's not, and the fact that you asked the question shows this, it's not just what you're looking at now, because, and the key thing, so I'll just talk about the quote briefly. A lot of people think that this is Hamlet or Shakespeare saying you should act naturalistically, that you should kind of make everything small and Chicago style naturalism. He doesn't say that. He says, hold the mirror up to nature, right? To our nature. And that's what the theatre does. It shows us what's on the inside. So holding the mirror up to nature is our nature, to your nature, the way that we were. That's a great question. And 20 plus years of therapy have not gotten me that much closer to answering it. What do I see? This is a little bit like what we do on the podcast that I have with my mate Steve. We met in prison doing Shakespeare, Steve and I. I'll put a link to that too. We ask people, we have guests on and we ask them, who are you? But you're not allowed to tell us your occupation, age, gender, all of those normal things that people, what do you do for, who are you? That sort of thing. Who are you on the inside? The metaphysical question. So I think you're asking a similar metaphysical question. So when I look in that mirror, because I'm not going to go on about how much I don't like what I see in the literal physical mirror every time I look at it. So that's one thing I see. So physical insecurity. He ain't no Hemsworth. So yeah, there's some physical insecurity. Holding the mirror up to nature. Look, I know that I can be fairly eloquent. I know that I have a high IQ. I know that I'm very creative. That's a great thing. Those other things, being very eloquent and having a high IQ, I am now aware of the two edges of that sword. Is that, am I mixing my metaphors? No, double-edged sword, right? Which is, it's not, oh, poor me, I'm intelligent and reasonably articulate. It's not that, but it is being wary of that, in the sense that, and I studied briefly with Noam Chomsky, well, briefly, 4 years. It wasn't just him and me in a room. He was one of the professors that taught me. And he suffers from this, I think. He is so smart, like 3 times what I am. He is so articulate and eloquent, 3 times what I am. But sometimes he can just out-argue people and outsmart people. And in doing so, I think sometimes you lose the good. Not only can you lose friends that way, which is terrible, but just because you can out argue and out logic someone doesn't mean that you're right and they're wrong. Okay? That there's value in that. So one of the things that I've been developing, which didn't come easily to me at first because of childhood and family and blah, 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 thank you, therapists, was things like compassion and empathy. And I don't think those are things you were born with. People who say I'm an empath really piss me off. Maybe it means, maybe they're telling the truth. Maybe they have a high level of empathy, but it's not something that can't be learned. And it's not something, it is something that we're born with and can get stifled or smothered. You can absolutely learn it. You can practice it. So I see myself as someone who is still developing those. I also see myself as someone who never really wanted to lead, be a leader, whatever, but for various reasons has ended up in those positions. And I think that that's both good and bad for the people whom I'm leading. It's good in that I don't like to do things autocratically. It's bad in that sometimes I'm wishy-washy, or perhaps go the other way and go, nope, someone's got to make a decision and the decision is this. So there's that. What else do I see? I see someone who is a father, who has become a father relatively late in life. I was 38, I think, who loves people of all ages, but learns a lot. I learn a lot from people of all ages, but I really value spending time with people who are younger than me, not necessarily my kids' age, but people 10, 20, 30 years younger than me as well. Not because of what I can teach, absolutely not, but because of what I can learn. And a teacher who never set out to be a teacher, but I teach because of what I learn more than what I have learned. The day that I stop learning anything through teaching, I will stop teaching. And the things that I teach are not necessarily even things I think are important for people to learn, but things that excited me and changed me when I began to learn them. And I can't shut up about the things I'm excited about. So I might as well get paid for not shutting up about the things I'm excited about. And that's called teaching.
Love it.
That's some of the things. Is that enough?
That's plenty. That's plenty. It's entirely up to you how much you want to share.
Oh, God. I could talk about myself all day.
Love it. Thank you so much. What a great conversation. Really appreciate it.
It was fun.
Big thanks to Rob Pensalfini, Artistic Director of the Queensland Shakespeare Ensemble. Now, QSE do amazing work with Shakespeare, and you can learn a little bit more about that through the links in the description below. And down there will also be a link to the mini playlist of all the videos that I shot with Rob around aspects of Shakespeare. He is a wealth of knowledge, so definitely check that out. It would be great if you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't already, share it with someone who you think might need it. Thanks very much. Have a look at some of these other Shakespeare videos, and I will see you there.